Hello, welcome back. Today I got some tea for y'all, like tea, okay? So this is a video talking, first of all, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing this experience with me. Not really, but really, right? Okay, now, so today I got some tea for y'all, right? And this is a video of how my cousin tried to stab me. You heard that right. You heard that right. What did I say? My cousin tried to shank me, right? All right, so we're gonna start this in the beginning. So I was living with my best friend at the time, and I believe I was like in the process of getting myself my own little like apartment, room, whatever you want to call it, right? And I think I was at my room at this point because I was like packing stuff out, but I didn't really bring like clothes over yet, or maybe I did, I don't remember. But I remember that I was at my house because I ended up going back to her house. So okay, so I'm sitting in my room. I just got like, everything is popping, like I'm you know, about to live on my own, like I'm doing my thing, right? And like, so my mom is like blowing me up, right? Sending me like a bunch of text messages. And like, when my mom texts me, I don't normally read it like right away. I like give it a minute, because when my mom texts me, I mean like she be texting paragraphs, and she texts me like back to back to back to back to back. Like when my mom texts me, I'll get like 5 long ass paragraphs. I'm just like, all right, like I'm gonna read this like when you're done, okay? When you're done. So my mom is texting me, blow me up. So then I hear my phone ringing. Not really hear my phone ringing, but I hear my my phone going off, like it's vibrating, and I'm like, oh, like that doesn't sound like repeated text, that's somebody calling me. So I check my phone, and my mom calls me, and my mom is crying, and I'm like hold on, like, you know, get yourself together and then like talk to me, like what's up, what's going on? So my mom, so everything is like said and done, she calms down and she tells me like what's going on. And apparently like my cousin is bashing her on Facebook and on social media, and like, you know, doing the most. And I'm like, well, okay, like hold on. She was like, yeah, I sent you the messages, like look at it. And I'm like, hold on, like are you okay? Like let me know something. So I mean, point of the matter is, like, nobody wants to hear their mom crying, and let alone of something like that. Like, and then from family, that's like that's supposed to be family, like family fight, but relax. Like we're not gonna do all that, right? Okay, so I get off the phone with my mom, and like I really don't remember how the conversation went. But so at this point I'm still calm. Like I understand that my mom is crying, but I have to stay calm, because when I get upset, okay? So with that being said, I hang up the phone on my mom. Not hang up the phone, but me and my mom get off the phone, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to now call my cousin just to figure out what's going on, because like I can't just go off what my mom is saying. Like I could, but I still want to hear it from like my cousin's mouth. You get what I mean? Like I want to know, like there's 2 sides to a story, right? Well, I put 4. There's 2 sides to a story, my mom's and then my cousin's. So at this point I got my mom's, but now I want to hear my cousin's side of the story. So like the person I am, I pick up my phone and I call my cousin. Now y'all, verbatim, okay, I pick up the phone and I call my cousin, not thinking anything, because at this point I'm like, all right, her beef was with my mom, so I understand I'm her daughter, but relax, boo. So I call my cousin, and my cousin, y'all, like I don't even say hello yet, right? I call my cousin and I'm greeted with, what the fuck you calling me for? Yeah, like, and I'm like, So I answer her and I'm like, yo, like, what is all of that for? Like, what is your problem? Like, I really just called you to figure out like what's going on with you and my mother. Like, and you're greeting me with this for what, baby girl? Like, why are you so mad? Oh. Anyway, so got some of my. All right, so after that, y'all, me and her, like, we're not really going back and forth on the phone because I'm not the type of person to go back and forth with somebody on the phone. Like, I'm all about like face-to-face type shit because things can get misinterpreted over the phone and through text. So I like to read body language. I like to, like, we gotta like have this conversation face-to-face. So she's going off on the phone. I mean off on the phone, right? Like, oh, like if you wanna fight, like da-da-da. And I'm like, what? Like, whoa. Now I already knew where she lived because like I said, this is my cousin. Like, we've been there for Thanksgiving dinners, Christmas dinners, like all that. So that's why I'm just confused. Like, what's going on? Like, what's up? What are you mad about? So come to think of it, this is all over like my aunt that was like really sick. And if I'm remembering correctly, because I don't want to lie, if I'm remembering correctly, she was getting really sick and family was going back and forth, like upset about like putting her in a home and everything. And I believe my mom was against putting her in the home, but being that my cousins and stuff is who takes care of her, they're over it, they want to put her in a home. And my mom is like against that, I guess. I think like that's how it goes. So this is all over my aunt and like everything. All right, boom. So I get off the phone. Now my cousin is talking about, oh, like if you want to fight, like we could fight and da-da-da. And I'm like, why is my cousin coming at me like this? So at this point, y'all, I'm getting upset, right? Because at this point, now she's coming for my mom. Now she's coming for me. And it's like, why are you doing all that? Like, I really want you to keep the same energy when you're in my face. Because now she's doing all of this over the phone. And I'm just like, boo. Like, cut it out. So anyway, so I get off the phone with her, and like I said, I was in my apartment at the time. So me and my best friend, like the apartment that I found, it was literally maybe like a 2-minute drive from each other, if that. So I hop in my car and I drive back to my friend's house because like I said, there was like, my stuff was still at my best friend's house. So I get to my best friend's house and I think I changed my clothes because I still had clothes like over there. Okay, so I get to my friend's house and I think I threw on some sneakers and like a sweatsuit because like you never want to go somewhere ready to fight, but like you have to be prepared, right? So I do that and I'm going off. Like, I mean, I'm yelling to myself, like I'm going off, right? So my best friend is like, Z, like what's going on? Like what's happening? So I'm explaining it to her and she's like, oh, do you want me to ride with you? And at first I was like, you know, like this is like a family issue. So I'm like, you know, like I don't think it'll get like that out of hand so when my friend have to ride with me. But I mean, I was living in Jersey at the time and my cousin, now I'm from Brooklyn, my cousin was living in Brooklyn. So it was a 45-minute drive, so I'm like, all right, like whatever, like she would ride with me, like, you know, we could ride, like at least I'm gonna have company like on the way there. But me and my best friend, we have that thing to where like if I'm fighting, she don't get involved. If she's fighting, like I don't get involved. But if it's some jumping type stuff, because we know how females can get, all hands on deck. Okay, so anyway, so I'm like, all right, like so she rides with me. So it's me, my best friend, her sister, and her brother in the car, and we all like talking, and they're all like, yo Z, like you really not about to fight your cousin? And I'm telling them like I'm not about to fight my cousin, like, but I want to have this conversation face to face because I can see my cousin is upset, my mom is upset, and I don't want this to like get too big to where it becomes like a big family issue and then like it causes a rift in the family, and like it was over what? Nothing. So we're driving, I get there, and I was like, all right, you guys hang back. So I'm walking into my cousin's house, and it's almost like, y'all, she was peeping me, like she was looking out for me, right? Because when I get to her gate, she's like, oh yeah, bitch, like, oh, you want to pull up with your friends, like, y'all, like, going off. And at this point, I've already calmed down, right? And I'm like, why are you doing all that? For what? So, okay. So I get there and, you know, she's doing all that. So at this point, now I'm getting upset all over again. And I think my best friend can see that. So they start walking over. But I think the main reason why my best friend started walking over was because it was my cousin, her mom, and then she lives like on a 2-story, so my cousin lives upstairs, and then her first floor neighbors, so they was outside too, and they're all like getting on me, and I'm looking like, what y'all got to do with this? Like, this is like family business, and y'all sitting over here yelling at me and screaming at me and talking y'all shit from behind a gate. So I'm like, yeah, I was really confused, but I was with the shits, because at this point, sis, you're doing too much. So they start walking over. Now I did not pass her gate, because me already, now I'm not stupid, me already getting in my car and crossing that bridge and coming to her house is already like out of pocket. But again, this is family, so you're not thinking that like stuff is gonna get out of hand, like, because this is family we're talking about, right? So I get to her house, and so they're like, you know, yelling and screaming at me and doing all of this and doing all of this, and I'm really sitting there calm, and I'm like literally, I just want to talk to you, like, what is your problem? Like, and I mean, she's still going off. Now I don't know if like, you know, everything is happening so fast, and I look down and I see like a big ass stick in her hand. Now it almost looked like a bat, but it wasn't. It was just like a big ass like tree branch, and I was like, is she trying to hit me with that? Like, is that what we do now? Wow. So she's still going off, I mean, her mom, which is my aunt, is like going off, doing the most. And I mean, I'm really directing everything that I'm saying to my cousin, because that's my aunt, she's older than me, and as much as she going off, I'm gonna still have my respect, because that's just me, and that's the person that I am. So she turns to her mother and she's like, Mom, go inside, like, da da da, like, whatever, because at this point her mom is like doing the most. So I guess she was over her mom. So she tells her mom, which is my aunt, to go inside. So she goes inside, but that's not the half. When her mom goes inside, she opens the window and she's yelling at me from in the window. And she's like, oh, she forgot me, I saw, I crossed the bridge, like, she's like, she bright down Ota Ada. Now, if you're Jamaican, you know that means that she's saying that like I'm rude, I'm out of pocket, and I'm disrespectful. But it's like, I'm not, because I really came here to have a conversation with you as to what's going on. That's really what I came here for. But you're sitting there screaming at me and doing the whole most, like you really want to get it popping, and it's like, what's up? So anyway, so that's happening. She's arguing with me, and at this point, y'all, I'm getting upset because my cousin is starting to like talk about my mom now, and you know, she's disrespecting mi madre, and you don't do that. I mean, she calling my mom all types of names, all types of this, all types of that, and I'm like, and then like, I'm really sitting there and I'm getting upset, and I'm like, Navy, like, calm down. I'm telling myself, calling myself in third person, I'm like, calm down, calm down, calm down. And I know that I cannot pass her gate, because if I pass her gate at this point, it's getting heated, and if I pass her gate, I'm in the wrong, because at this point I'm still on the sidewalk, I'm on public property. So I'm looking for my opportunity to, every time she get closer, to grab her by her shirt, because I'm not no type of female that pull hair. I don't believe in that. Like, but if you pull my hair, I'm gonna pull yours. But when I'm like, with me in like the midst of stuff, like, I don't pull hair. Like, we can let's do this like we in the boxing ring, you feel me? So anyway, so I'm looking for my opportunity to like grab her and pull her, and like, because at this point now I'm in a fight because first when I wanted to talk, you didn't want to talk, so now we can just fight. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, so she does that, and I'm looking for my opportunity to like, at this point my best friend is right here, but her sister and her brother, they're across the street, but my best friend is standing right next to me. So so she's doing all that, and you know, I can't grab her, and I'm really just wondering like what's going on, and I'm getting hot, I'm getting heated, I'm starting to see black, and all I see is her as my target, and I want to grab her, right? But I can't do that. So she finally gets like close enough, y'all, to where like I can grab her. And as I'm getting ready to grab her, my best friend grabs me, yanks me, and like, yeah, I almost swung on my best friend, because I'm like, why would you do that? Like, we have the rule to where if it's about to get popping, we don't touch each other. And I was just about to get my opportunity, and you gonna do that? Why would you do that? So I look at my best friend and I'm like, so what are you doing? Like, why are you touching me? Why are you pulling me? What like, why are you touching me? So my best friend goes, yo, Z, like, she got a knife. And I'm like, what? Like, no, she don't. And lo and behold, like, as I look down, in her hand, the knife shines off the reflection of the street lights. And I'm like, and that's the hand that was going up as I'm getting ready to grab, and as my best friend pulls me. So I was like, y'all, like, it really like, I don't know how long I was standing there in shock, but I was like, in my head I'm like, my cousin was really about to like stab me. But not even that. Okay, so like a little bit before that, like, so as her mom goes upstairs, I'm like all over the place, but as her mom goes upstairs, her neighbors, which is the ones downstairs, is like, oh, I'm gonna call the cops if you don't leave, like, leave right now, I'm calling the cops. And she called the cops because like a little bit after I realized she was like gonna stab me and shit, and I'm sitting there and we're still arguing now, because now I'm like, you was really about to stab me, like, your cousin, for what? Like, why are you that upset where you feel like you need to pull a weapon? And I was like, what the fuck? So I was really sitting there like shocked. I was like, oh my god, like, she was really about to stab me. And you know, it's a lucky thing I told my best friend to come with me, because if it wasn't for her, I don't really know what would have happened. I don't really know where I would be, because like, my cousin was really about to stab me, and my best friend is who saved my life. Like, wow. And I was like, wow. Like, I was like really in shock. So as I'm doing that and we arguing, the cops pull up. But it was weird because when they pulled up, they didn't pull up with like their lights and shit. Like, it was just one cop car, and they like strolled down the street. And so I don't know if maybe like they did call the cops, because like I said, it was one cop car and he was just strolling down the street with no lights on. But he pulled up and then he came out and he was like, oh, what's going on here? And then me and this one cop, because it was two of them in the car, so me and one cop, like, we walked down the block, and I was telling him like what happened, and he was telling me I was wrong for like coming here to her house. And I'm trying to explain to him like, this is my cousin, to where we've had family gatherings, like I was at her baby shower, like we, like, you know, like, we're cousins, so I didn't think it was that serious. And he was like, you know, I totally get it, but you know, they call the cops and this could like ended up like the wrong way and yada yada yada. And I'm like, sir, what? At the end of the day, like, I really just want to know like what was her problem. And to this day, y'all, I still don't even know what her problem is, because after that day we've never talked, like, ever. My mom and my aunt, which is like her mom, like, they talk, not as like not as close as they used to, but they talk. But me and my cousin, we don't talk, because at the end of the day, you came from my mother, and my mother may be more forgiving, but I'm not. And on top of that, I was the one that you almost stabbed. So we don't have nothing to talk about. After that day, we're no longer a family, okay? Because you really tried to stab me, and if it wasn't for my best friend, my best nyach, I would have been stabbed, and I probably would have been in the hospital that night. Who knows? Like, who really knows? But I was really shocked. Like, she really tried that. Like, I really... But anyways, so yeah, so that's the story time of when my cousin almost tried to stab me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys want to hear more story times, let me know, because I have more. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah.